Hello, and a very warm welcome. My name is Anya. This is my Luminosity yoga channel, and I am devising a series of videos that help you get an embodied understanding of astrological transits, predominantly the moon, and also I look at Mars and Venus related transits this year. And today is the 17th of July 2023. I'm here in Berlin. And the new moon will occur around 6:30, a little later than that, p.m. here. And it will be in the sign of Cancer at 24 degrees of Cancer. So the moon has already been in Cancer for just over a day. And this year, when the moon is in Cancer, it is considered to be out of bounds, meaning it leaves its usual orbit. And also that means whenever the moon is out of bounds, that the moon related things related to our our emotional tides and our feelings, our kind of fluids also in the body, that they might feel a little bit out of bounds, out of their usual kind of zone. And yeah, I'd like to give you an embodied understanding of this new moon in Cancer, give you a few ideas about the sign of Cancer, which is a cardinal water sign, meaning cardinal that it starts the season, in this case, the season of summer, and it is a water sign. So yeah, related to the element of water. And the sign is the sign of the crab, which lives in the tidal zone, where there's always like ebb and flow and moving waters, which creates a lot of insecurity or uncertainty of terrain. So that sign of Cancer is actually ruled by the moon, and in tarot, there's in the tarot deck, there is a card in the traditional tarot deck, the Rider-Waite deck. There, the card of a moon, and that you also have actually the image of the crab, and it is connected to kind of emotional uncertainty or not quite knowing. And I find that quite appropriate for this new moon this year, as there is also a lot of Neptune influence, and in a way, the new moon, sun and moon in Cancer, are stuck between Uranus and Neptune, which in traditional astrology is seen as an outer enclosure. So there is a with Neptune in Pisces, which is about sort of illusion, fantasies, being able to create also from your dreams, but not quite knowing sometimes what is what and who is who. So in combination with Uranus, which is about these sudden, unexpected changes on a material plane, as it is in the sign of Taurus. So we have some very contradictory forces here, which may well cause you to feel high levels of anxiety or uncertainty. And that goes along also with the new moon being opposite Pluto in retrograde, Pluto in Capricorn, in the sign of Capricorn, retrograde. And Pluto is really about all the kind of emotional underworld, all the things that are hidden literally under the earth, but also, of course, in our unconscious, subconscious. And you know, Pluto will be retrograding for a while and going again through this Capricorn terrain. But in this last last degrees of Cancer, it now forms the last time. It's the last time that we have this particular opposition with the new moon in Cancer, with this Pluto retrograde opposition. And I am a member of the Astrology Hub, and we always have a monthly guide helping us, or like guiding us through the month, and highlighting certain aspects of the astrology. And this month It is guided by Joji, and he pointed out, for this, or he had this idea of being face to face with the past, with this Pluto retrograde. So again, maybe past issues coming up around kind of outer versus inner security and safety. So Capricorn being more connected to outer structures, societal structures, ideas, things that, have us be in the world very kind of earthy and grounded, and which also might lead to like a false safe or wanting to control a sense of safety. And then we have this kind of Cancer, very kind of maternal, emotional, the inner sense of safety and security. Also our emotional, maybe our inner child, our emotional self. So being face to face with the past, this kind of Pluto retrograde with these kind of crusty old structures that might be worn out, but we're still holding on to because we're trying to control things. And then versus the kind of threats of the future. And in order to move forward, which Joji pointed out, but which is something I've been contemplating the last few days, is that sense of feeling powerless in certain dynamics and relationships with other people, with let's say a larger sense of society. We might have this tendency to fight or want to run away, and I think it is important at this point to accept this sense of powerlessness, to accept our limitations, and by accepting what we can't do, actually being able to understand what can be done, and to really keep our eyes open instead of turning away, which may well be something that the sign of Cancer, the crab, wants to do, either go sideways, avoid the issue, or just kind of hide, or close their eyes. So these are some ideas around this new moon. Another thing that's very interesting, that it is very close to a fixed star called Procyon, or Procyon, and that always rises. I found that very interesting. I'm not that familiar with fixed stars yet, but I found that extremely interesting because that star always rises before the brightest star in the sky, which is Sirius. So it's like it announces that a light is to come back. It announces that there is light at the end of a tunnel, or something to look forward to. And I think that's extremely important. So to focus on with Neptune, with the help of Neptune and that fixed star, that there are also opportunities to actually really kind of connect to our magic abilities within our ability to dream a reality into focus, to set magical intentions, to work with what we can do, while being very truthful and honest about our limitations and that sense of powerlessness. Having said that, how does that relate to yoga? So Cancer, being very emotional and being very dependent on the moon and the kind of constant change of the tides and the moon, the movement of the moon, a Cancer practice would also take that into account. So depending on how much energy there is, how the emotional self is, and a sense of how you have been able to digest your emotions. So that should come first before eating, for example, needing to digest your emotions and finding a safe place where to practice. So the space that you're in should feel very comfortable internally and externally before, for example, you start eating. And so accepting these fluctuations of energy is important. Ease, there should be ease, and you should allow yourself to have props. I brought a few props, and if you're at home, you can use all the props that you have to really allow yourself that sense of support. And people sometimes think that in yoga, using props might actually show that they're not really capable. I think quite the opposite. I think it's very nice to allow yourself to have some support. Also, sometimes it takes extra strain, for example, of your groins. If you just, for example, sit up a little bit higher, it allows the energy to actually move better through the body and takes off strain that you might have if you have to hold, for example, here, if your legs are up and you use a lot of energy just to hold actually the legs up. And also, if you, you can, we're going to use the block for later on for the moon salutation. So we will work with Chandra Namaskar. So we have Surya Namaskar, quite typical in yoga, the sun salutation, and Chandra Namaskar is just a variation, opening up to the moon. So we will work with that, and also with things that focus on our breasts. So Cancer is also related to the breasts specifically, also breastfeeding, and the chest, and opening up in this area. So we will bring, and also the belly, because of the idea of the emotions, all the emotions that are often held in the belly, or that actually really kind of have a big impact on our ability to digest. So we will also work with that, stimulating the life force at the navel center. So we will work with the breath of fire. So that's Bastrika, that's an active in and exhale through the nose. Should you be on your cycle, should you in any way have inflammation or any kind of distress in the body, you need to be very cautious with that, and maybe just go for a long deep breath at all times. And last but not least, so Cancer practice is something that's fluid, but since we have that opposition with Pluto and Capricorn, it's also very important to be grounded and maybe stay longer in the poses. If you want to adapt the practice, you can, in between, just decide to switch off or pause the video and decide to stay longer in the postures. And as always, I highly recommend, if you can, to practice outdoors, to be directly connected to the earth. But it doesn't matter, it's also fine if you're at home. So let's start by finding a comfortable seat. Closing your eyes gently. And just rest your palms on your legs, facing down to enhance a sense of grounding. Or if you prefer, you can turn the palms facing the sky to reinforce a sense of opening up. And then let's start off by just sensing our feet and whatever it is that we can feel in our feet. Just becoming present to all the sensations in the feet. And see that your inhale doesn't lift you up and away from them. Allow yourself to breathe and stay with the sensations in your feet. And then perceive your feet as a way of grounding, as a part of your foundation. And then let's move up to the pelvic floor. And again, just feeling pelvic floor, and the whole area of the pelvis. Allowing any sexual desire or sensations of hunger to rest. Your emotional life, allow it to rest. Just feeling the pelvis. And just allowing yourself to ground yourself here through the pelvis. Experiencing it as a way of, as a part of your foundation. And then we move up into the diaphragm and above the navel, underneath your rib cage. Again, just becoming aware of any sensations there. Letting your mental and emotional life rest. Moving up into your collarbones, and again, just sense your collarbones. Experience them as a way of grounding yourself, part of your foundation. And we sense the jaw and the back of the head. Any sensations here, you can rest your mind. Any attempt to control. And just experience these body parts as part of your foundation. And then last but not least, just feel the crown of the head. Becoming aware of sensations here. Grounding through the crown. Allowing it to be part of your foundation. Just sense your breathing, the connection to the ground from your tailbone or from the pelvic floor, from your perineum. Just allow fresh energy to flow up into the body, up the spine to the crown of the head. Feel the connection to the sky as if someone gently lifts you up. And then the exhale all the way down, let everything release that you no longer need. In an exhale through the nose, receive your inhale energy from the earth. Feel it move up the spine, into the crown, into the fingers, into the toes. And then exhale it down into the earth. And just keep breathing gently and deeply, finding your own rhythm here. And finding your seat between heaven and earth. And then slowly open your eyes and bring your arms up. And exhale them down, palms facing the earth. As we inhale them up, the palms face the sky. We receive energy. And then exhale, let it go. And again, inhale. Slightly longer exhale, especially if you feel a sense of anxiety. Very good way to calm the nervous system. Then inhale, bring your arms up. And then when the arms are up, just bring the outsides of the fingers, small fingers together, and just bring them down. Bring the arms down in this mudra related to the moon, Chandra mudra, like a little, as if you have a little bowl here, allowing you to receive. And again, inhale, bringing the arms up. And again, just bring them down. So just make those small fingers, the small finger side of the hands connect like a little bowl. Allowing yourself to receive one more time. Inhale. And exhale. And then bringing the hands in front of the heart, we start with one round of arm deep exhale. And inhale. your head to your heart and set an intention for this new moon. So what it is that you want to bring in, that you want to focus on this month. Just find a clear intention, or just let that come to you, that intention. And if you don't have any ideas, I'd like to share the idea of connecting with that fixed star Procyon, which precedes the light of day, or the brightest star, the rises just before the brightest star and reminds you of your inner light. Focusing on that as we move through this cycle. So just whatever your intention is, bring that into the body with your breath. And then rub your hands together. Cup your eyes with your palms. Just a few deep in and exhales. And then just bring your arms down, open your eyes. And then as we inhale, we open up to the sky. And we just imagine we're kind of imitating this kind of Cancer crab shape. And then we're rounding, and as if we're protecting ourselves. And then inhale, we open up to more abundance in our life, to Jupiter, everything related to Jupiter. And then exhale, we retreat and we reflect as the moon does. Inhale, we open up. And exhale. And two more times. And exhale. And then we're going to come onto our heels. Sit on your heels. And we're going to open and round the upper back. And we're going to do it quite fast with a breath of fire. So see if you can move more from your chest bone, not so much from the chin. The chin comes with you automatically. And we're going to do it with a breath of fire. So deep in an exhale through the nose. If that is not available to you, then or if that is too much, if you have inflammation in the body, it just makes you feel uncomfortable, you're on your period, just long deep breaths. Otherwise, we're going to start. Ten more. And we do it slowly. Deep inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Now we hold after the inhale, deep inhale. Bring the chin to the chest. Bring the Muladhara Bandha, the tailbone in and up. Hold your breath for a second. And then exhale and release. And just take a moment just to sense your breathing. And you can bring your the outside mounds of the little fingers touching again. Just placing your hands in your lap. Chandra Mudra, the mudra for the moon. Releasing the jaw. And then we're going to interlace the fingers, left thumb on top behind your back. And then we're going to breathe long and deep breaths as we move the arms away, shoulders away from the ears. Long, deep in and exhales. Letting your eyes breathe. Can bring the chin slightly towards the chest or just look straight ahead. You can sit on a block, you can sit on a blanket. If you cannot sit in this position, you can also just sit in a comfortable cross-legged position. Just make sure you find a posture that works for you in this as you practice. Deep in and exhale. And then slowly release. And again, just take a moment to rest your hands on your thighs or in your lap. And make the insides of your hands touch the little finger sides, fingers, mounds of the little fingers touching. And also the wrist, the inside of the wrist touching. And we're going to come on all fours. And inhale, just bring the heart forward. And on the exhale, around the lower, middle, upper back. A few cat-cows. Inhaling, bring the heart front, and exhale. Start from the tailbone, rounding the back, pushing the ground away. You can tuck your toes under if you wish. One more, inhale. And exhale, and this time we come into downward facing dog, and just take a moment to find your hands and feet. Open the fingers wide. Just find a good distance for your feet. Inhale, come up on the toes. Exhale, bend one knee, bring the other heel to the ground, and just change sides with the breath. Deep in and exhale. Und dann langsam, slowly come into the front of your mat. And then just grab your elbows from below for a moment. And bend your knees as much as you need to. And then take a block or take a stack of books or whatever you have handy. And just bring the left hand on the block underneath your chest. You can bend your left knee if you like. Bring your right arm up. Open to the sky. Open your chest. Rotating the body, the upper body. Can make movements with the hands, the fingers. Breathing deeply. Keeping the chin a little bit aligned so you're not overextending your neck. And then exhale, just changing sides. If you like, bend your right knee, bring your left arm up. And again, you can make movements with the hand and the fingers, opening up to the sky. And then again, exhale, release. And then just shake everything else, out, your arms, your hands, your shoulders. And just pucker your lips. Releasing tension. Slowly rolling up one vertebra at a time. Bring your arms up overhead. Exhale, hands in front of the heart. Inhale, bringing your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half forward fold. And we're going to step the right foot back. So left foot's front, feet hip width distance apart. Bring the back knee on the ground. Bring your arms up and just making sure your lower back is in a good space. So bring the tailbone down and secure the lower back by pulling the pelvic floor in and up. The pubic bone up. And you can lift the heart, the chest towards the sky as much as it's comfortable for you. And then take a block, or as I said, a stack of books, and just place it on the outside of your left foot. And we're going to come into Ardha Chandrasana. If you've never done that, place both hands on the ground, tuck the back foot under, and just move the back foot in a little bit. So I'm now going to rest, so I'm going to bring the left arm a little bit in front, maybe 20 centimeters. Diagonally in front of me, I bring the right hand to the hip, I lift the back leg, and I turn the toes towards the sky, and I try to lift the foot as much as I can. Keep your eyes, your gaze gentle in one spot to help you balance. Let your eyes breathe, and if and when you feel ready, you can open the arm towards the sky. It's not necessary, but you can do that. And also keep your hand here if that's more comfortable. You can also keep the leg a little lower, just do that for a short period of time, or any other variation that you would like to do. Deep in and exhale, opening in this Ardha Chandrasana half moon posture. And I'm going to bring the hands down and gently step back into what is called a plank position. And then here, knees, chest and chin, or just lowering onto the ground. Bring the hands back where the ribs start, roll the shoulders front, up, back, down, and then you can either come into a small cobra, or if your back is already fine, you can come into a higher cobra. Just breathe here. And make sure you have a long neck, so pull the elbows back and lift the collarbones instead of the chin. Lift your heart. Breathe deeply into the chest. And on your exhale, bring the forehead on the ground. And then inhale, just find your way up on all fours, tuck your toes under, and come back into downward facing dog. And just move the hips from side to side. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, right leg front. Feet hip width distance. Bring the left knee on the ground. Drop the tailbone, bring the pubic bone up. Secure your lower back. Heart opens to the sky. Deep breaths here. We're going to bring the hands on the ground. So now move your block to the outside of your right foot. Tuck your back foot under. Lift the knee off the ground. Bring the foot in a little bit. And then just reach forward. Diagonally front. Bring your left hand to the left hip. And then really make sure you're turning your toes towards the sky and you open your upper arm towards the sky and breathe here deeply. Inhale here. And then exhale, coming back with the hands on the ground. Bring both feet next to each other. Halfway forward fold. Inhale. Full forward fold. Exhale. Inhale, come all the way up. And exhale, hands in front of the heart. And then bring your feet together. Inhale. Exhale, come into what is called a chair pose. Utkatasana. And really feel the strength here in the center of your body. Bring the heels off the ground, hands in front of the heart, and just slowly come into a squat. Now you can use your hands if you like, or you're just going to sit back, relax. And we're going to do 2 versions of the bow posture to really get in touch with our navel center. The first one, we're just going to have long, deep breaths. And we're going to bring the legs up, either straight or bent. And if any point you need to rest, you will do so. Otherwise, just bring the legs up and keep breathing. If you can, just straighten them all the way, about 60 degrees. Remember your intention as you do this. However, if it's too much, you can bend the knees. If at any point you need to rest, do so. And then regroup and bring your legs up again. And then exhale, just cross your legs, come front and back into downward facing dog. Inhale, come into plank position. Knees, chest and chin, or just lower yourself onto the ground. Feet stay grounded. Inhale, half cobra, or you can come into higher cobra, but just really make sure it's fine for your neck or your back. Otherwise, just practice this version. Keep your elbows close to the body, lift from the heart, breathing deeply. Exhale, forward on the ground. And then find your way back, either squat and cross, on all fours or just in one piece back into downward facing dog. Take a few deep in and exhales. Really feel the strength in your hands and feet, releasing the heart, releasing any tension from the heart, releasing the head, breathing deeply into the chest. Inhale. And down into your belly. Exhale into the pelvic floor, releasing anything through the legs. See if you can pull the heel towards the ground, activate the muscles above the knees. And we're going to come back down on the knees, cross our legs and just sit back again. And this time, so we do the second version. We're going to do it with a breath of fire, unless that doesn't work for you today because of your any inflammation in the body, any chronic disease that has a lot of heat, or acute disease, or also if you're on your menstrual cycle. Otherwise, it's fine. You can practice the breath of fire, deep in and exhales through the nose, not long, short and active. And we're stoking. We're just going to keep the feet a little bit off the ground. You can close your eyes and just start. Just keep going. So we're stimulating the life force at the navel center. We clear the lungs. Last 10. Deep inhale. And just bring your tailbone up, chin towards the chest. Hold the breath for a moment. And exhale, release. Just come into comfortable cross-legged posture for a moment. And again, just bring the small finger outside together, the mounds of the small fingers outside of your wrists, or rather the inside outside of your wrist. And just breathing. And just sensing any change, maybe in the body, the energetic field. And we're going to confront again, step back into plank. Or the knees, chest, and chin, or lower yourself to the ground. Inhale, small or higher cobra. And then either via all fours, plank, or in one piece back into downward facing dog. And then you can either jump or walk front between the feet and just sit back one more time. And we're going to come in Paschimottanasana, forward bend, both of your legs front. And again, I just invite you to use a strap you can use at home. You can use anything, a belt, or also a scarf, long scarf, something like that. Just bring that around your feet if you need it. And then we're going to try to keep the back long. You can also grab the big toes with your thumbs and wrap the other part of your hand around the feet. And just bringing the big toes forward and the small toes towards you. And then just breathe here, long, deep breaths, lengthen the spine, and just bring your chin slightly towards your chest. That's why it might be easier with the belt. And deep in and exhale. See if you can ground down through your legs, really feeling the earth. And going to come up for a second, and we're going to go back into it, and we're going to chant hum. So we're going to chant it in the same posture, and it will activate again, like relating to the heart, the chest chakra, opening up to that sense of security within. Hum. 7 times. Hum. 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 And very slowly releasing. And then slowly lower yourself onto the ground. Feet hip width distance. Bring your hands under your knees, rolled back onto the back. And bring your right leg in. And again, you can use your belt, because we're going to extend the leg in a second. So I invite you again to use a belt if you have one, a strap of any sort, a scarf, something long that you can hold and really keep your elbows relaxed. And hold it with your right hand, bring your left arm out, bring the leg out, but so that the pelvis actually stays, the hips stay on the ground, hip bones both on the ground. So leg doesn't go all the way over, maybe. Just see how that goes. Breathe deeply here. Keep your hips parallel. Can be just a very little movement. And then exhale, coming into twist. So just move the leg over to the side. But for the beginning, just see if you can actually keep, again, the hip on the ground so it won't go very far. It might just be minute. And breathe deeply here. And really elongating through the tailbone. So find length in your spine and the lower back. And then you can let that leg drop over as far as it's comfortable for you. Either on the ground or just hold it somewhere. And if it's too much, just place a couple of blankets underneath, a bolster, or just bend the knee even. And then just find a comfortable position for the head. It can be away from the leg, it can be up towards the sky or in the same direction as the leg. Just decide, breathe deeply. Inhale, bring the leg up. And then exhale, release, changing sides. Bring the knee in for a moment, breathing here. Then again, just extend the leg towards the sky, breathing deeply. And then bring the leg out, just holding the strap if you have one with both hands. Otherwise, just very gentle, small movement maybe. Just keeping your hips on the ground. Releasing the jaw, and then inhale, bring the leg up over to the other side again. Just change hands, so grab it with the other hand, and see if you can keep that left hip on the ground. It's probably going to want to lift up, but just stay here, very small movement, and just really ground down through the hips, through the tailbone, elongating the lower back, and creating also a lot of space in the digestive organs. And then bring the leg over to the side as far as it's comfortable and possible for you. And breathing deeply again. Inhale, bringing the leg up. And exhale down. Bring the feet out and just bring the hands onto the hips and then just shake the entire body from side to side. Exhale through the mouth a few times. And then just releasing everything. And just allow yourself to ground again through your feet, feeling the feet. Releasing your breath, feeling the pelvis, the pelvic floor. Resting your emotions. Feeling your solar plexus. And grounding through it, feeling your collarbones. Resting your voice. And feeling any sensations in the back of the head and the jaw. Sensing them as part of your foundation. Relaxing the eye sockets, also grounding through the back of the eyes and the crown of the head. And let your consciousness rest for a few moments. And then very slowly just start to come back into the body. If you wanted longer Shavasana, just switch off the video. Start to move the hands and feet. Maybe stretch out. Place your feet onto the mat in front of you. And then roll over into fetus position, onto one side. Feel the earth underneath you slowly come up. And then either close your eyes or keep them closed. Bring one hand onto the belly, under the navel, one hand onto the center of your chest. And just take a moment to think about something you're grateful for in your life, something that fills you with joy. And just feel that in your entire being. Feel that in your heart. And just let that feeling spread across your body. Bring the hands together in front of the heart. And then share the merits of your practice with someone who is in need of more energy, someone who's close to your heart. Just see that person in front of you. And then dedicate the merits of your practice to that person or that being and to all beings without one exception. And close with one last deep exhale. And inhale. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me. I look forward to seeing you next month. Please like, subscribe, share the video. Feel free to also arrange for your personal Astro Yoga session with me. You can find me here or on my website, and the link is in the show notes.